Hello, Mom and YouTube. I am coming at you with another video for a Fortnite VOD review. Today we're going to be focusing on 2v1ing, what to do when the odds are against you, you're playing duos, maybe squads, and you're all by yourself. How to take on two players at once. I'm doing up with my good friend Alex today, and as you'll see, he's a good player, but just doesn't have the best of games, which happens. So what do you do as the teammate when your buddy's trying his best, but he's just being a bullet sponge? Sorry, Alex. Let's find out. First tip, always land in risky reels every game if you can. It's my favorite area. It used to be my even more favorite when there were still the pop rocks here. But I just love it. It's on the edge of the map. Hard to get pinched, although, again, as you'll see in a second here, I managed to. Plenty of loot. It's even for a full squad game. I think there's plenty of loot. And it's fun to say. Risky reels. Let's get risky. Risky business. All right, that's enough of that. Let's move into some gameplay and see how this first fight goes. I do notice when I first drop that I see a player over to my southwest. So that's the only player I know about. That's where I'm planning to get pushed from. But I do know that I have risky to myself with my buddy Alex. What I don't know is this player up here, his teammate is behind us. So let's speed it up a tiny bit, see what happens with our first fight. Looting as quickly as I can. I believe I have full shield at this time. Good set of guns. And as you can see, here comes our first player pushing us from the southwest, which is where, again, where I expected to be pushed from. All right, here comes the first shots at my teammate, Alex. And as you can see, I have a grenade launcher next to me. That's second tip. Always land in risky reels, and grenade and any kind of explodes in 2v1 situations are exactly where you want to be. Let's hide the relay, see how this goes. My buddy Alex gets lasered, and I believe at this point he is already down. Gets lasered from a teammate that we weren't expecting from behind, and it's 2v1. So first thing I do is build up. I see this guy behind me, and just try and prioritize quick shots out of cover. As fast as I can peek out, take a shot, and then get back into cover, I do. Here you see, teammate is behind me, so I take the shots that I can take, spin around, build straight up. These guys probably didn't farm mats as well as they needed to. Very important early game to farm what you can for fights like this. And now they're both on the ground, and I end up knocking one of them with those nades. Nades are amazing. Here's the last guy. They didn't kill my teammate, thankfully. And again, low mats probably won me that fight with a combination of having grenades to do some splash damage. So that's the first time that I get into a 2v1 fight this game. The takeaways are don't prioritize raising your friend, obviously. You just don't have the time. Thankfully, they didn't focus him, although if they did, that would have opened them up to me getting some shots in. build up, take the cover when you can, and then peek out to whatever opponent is visible, and take quick shots. Try and wear them down. All right, so I get Alex up, and we're off to the races for a little bit. So let's speed it up a bit. I won't skip ahead just so you see where we go. We have a nice circle for Risky. Decide to go north and do a little more looting. Alex is pretty low. He's looking for bandages at this point. Yeah, speed it up even more. Circle's coming in. Already down to 29 players before the first circle is even closed. And we rotate out. I believe we decide to go... I thought we decided to go to... Yeah, decided to go to Wailing Woods. I hear this team firing at something. I don't know what. See them on a shopping cart. Figure they might be just having some fun. But that's not what this game is about. It's about winning. So I open up, get a headshot, and then I believe Alex has a grenade launcher as well at this point. Super good for engages on multiple enemies. So we both open up, and Alex is down already. Gets lasered once again. Sorry, Alex. So it's 2v1. So here we go. Building up, boxing myself in. See both the players on the ground, looking for a good little peek shot. They're trying to knock me down, but I sow some discord with the nades. Teammate is behind me. I end up boxing him in, which is kind of an accident, but works out. Miss some shots, not good, but get the knock. Try to separate them, and again, be a little chaotic. Get the shots off where you can, and build. Pretty basic advice, but in a 2v1 situation, it can be kind of panicky. So if you're panicking, create a box, go up. Shoot nades. So here's my second 2v1 situation in as many minutes. And I'll show you next what happens to avoid 2v1ing situations. The best way to engage either a squad or an enemy duo. Get Alex up. Loot around for a bit. And then this next team, again, I'm not quite sure what they were thinking that alerts us to their presence, but we exit this area that we had a building battle, that I had a building battle in, and they end up rolling up on it and maybe thinking that they see a player inside. So they roll up on these buildings and start shooting at them, which alerts us pretty quickly here. There they are. Not quite sure what's happening. Best way to engage a duo, get the headshot. Makes the next fight so much easier when you can get a nice knock on one player. Following up with some explodes to create a little bit of chaos as we push. Ends up sneaking behind me, and this time Alex stays alive, helps get some of the shields off, and there's our next duo, all done. The storm is closing in on us pretty fast, but I do a quick bit of looting and don't end up taking any storm damage, which is nice. And we make our next rotation into Lonely Landing. Speed it up for you. If you watched my last video, I talked about having some tangible goals. I didn't do a great job this game of having tangible goals. What I think I'm going to start working on next is fast editing to open up the means for quick shots that your opponents are not expecting. Here we find a solo, peeks out for just a little too long. If that's you as a player, unless you have a sniper, we'll see if this guy does. Maybe he was scoping in. Unless you have a sniper, he did have an auto, and you're confident in your aim, you can't expose yourself above your ramp and stay still for that long. Always be moving from side to side. Get accustomed to crouching quickly to if you see your opponent, in this case me. Oh, took some fall damage there. Nothing to see here. Moving on. There is an example of me standing still a little too long. I was scoping in. Thankfully, he doesn't get the headshot, but gets me pretty low. And so I decided to go aggro. Still have these grenades, which really served me well this game. Grenades are amazing to shoot a couple off, push your enemy's position as they're trying to avoid the grenade damage. Get the high ground. Miss some easy AR shots, but that was fairly textbook. Go down to finish him, get lucky again. His teammate is to my right. I still don't see him, I don't think. But he misses some AR shots. Little new. Nothing too impressive about those kills. Except for what's coming up here. Quick looting, quick decision making. This next storm still isn't going to tick for an outrageous amount. So I decide to finish the med kit and then minimize damage by using my jump pad. Always making time for looting. Get rewarded with some minis before I pick up a quick 2 shields, which definitely assists me in the later part of this game. Being able to identify how much time you have, how fast the storm is moving behind you, and how much damage the storm is going to be doing to you, and if it's worth stopping for a second to grab some supplies. In this case, I end up getting up to full shield and just a tiny bit of health damage, which is really nice. Alright, I look at how many players are left. 6, so maybe 2 teams of 2 left. And I feel comfy sitting here for a bit. Peek for a little long, but I don't think there's anyone to my right. See this player right behind the tree. Would really love to get a shot off. That's a neat little trick that hopefully you guys know about. I'll go back a tiny bit. So in my box here, let's see if I can. Third person. I ended up putting my ramp in not an ideal location. As you can see, it's facing a side of the map that there's probably no players in, and not a lot of action. As soon as I notice the action is happening south of me, and I want to scope out with my sniper, if you keep the ramp facing the wrong direction, the only part that you have to peek out of is this corner, right? So you go up the ramp, you're peeking out of this corner. It makes it very predictable where you're going to poke up out of, just in case an enemy player were to see me, and they can continually take shots and pre-fire here, knowing that my only option is to pop up here. So as soon as you see where the majority of the action is going to be happening, I suggest you look down and edit your ramp, which will definitely take some practice. It's not intuitive. It takes some getting used to, but learn how to do it in playground mode. Look down, edit your ramp, and have it face where the action is. This way, as you pop up to scope, you have the entire length of the ramp to walk around, be unpredictable, and take your shots. Much harder to hit you with a sniper during a sniper battle. As you see, there's a couple players engaging each other. I am able to pick one of them off. Unfortunately, I pick off the one that doesn't have a teammate, and which means the next two players, I see them rushing us. So my plan is to get on top of this barn as quickly as possible. I don't know how they do it, but they end up getting here so fast and C4ing the base out of my structure, and it is on. Very chaotic fight here. Not quite sure where everyone is. And thankfully, I'm able to pump one of the players. I'll go back and show this again a little slower. Pump one of the players. It's only never quite 2v1. Block this last player's shots. I'm not quite sure why he doesn't build on me. And just sneak out that win. Very, very close. Let's have another quick look at that last fight, because it happens so fast in this game. And we'll slow it down. Whoopsies. No, we won't. We will slow it down. That audio is loud. As you can hear, there's some supply drops. So let's see what happens. Obviously, I spot one teammate, but his other teammate sneaks underneath me and gets the C4, which definitely ruins my plans of having a high ground. Here's a quick little thing that I think it's good to practice. The teammate builds up on me. I believe uses C4, or somehow all the structures get destroyed. And as he's falling, I'm tracking him through the breaking pieces of wood and trying to predict where he lands on the ground. This is so I can set up my next pump shot and make it count. So let's see if we can watch this guy fall. As tracking. I know exactly where he lands. I know that I have a clean shot, so that I can set up a quick switch to a sniper and no scope, which was a misclick. This next fight, pretty straightforward. Trying to block off my opponent's shotgun shots with buildings where I can. Right here, it's tempting to just get into an AR fight, but that's where Bloom comes in and Chaos and RNG comes in. No reason to just stand and AR your opponent while they're ARing you back. Building is always better. So I decide to reset, build, forces him to come to me, and he tries to dance up out of my structure, and it does not pay off. So I wanted to share this game because it was a 12 kill for me. Alex, again, solid, upcoming player. Unfortunately didn't nab any kills, so he rage quits. Wanted to give a little bit of examples of keeping your cool in 2v1s, building up, taking shots at the first person who tries to engage you. Usually teammates, unless their coordination is on point, are going to come at you one at a time or a little staggered. Opponents. If you're fighting two people, one of them is behind you, do a quick turn, block off their shots, focus the guy in front of you. Always trying to block shots coming from two different angles, because that's how you die in a heartbeat. Alright, I hope this video was informative and or helpful, and if not, then sorry. Bye.